Chargers fans, pay close attention. Behind-the-scenes information, analyst projections, and strategic moves that were being kept under wraps have just been revealed, and the impact could be so great that it changes the course of the franchise for years to come. The Harbaugh administration is putting together a detailed plan that starts with protecting a key piece of the offensive line, goes through profound changes in the style of play, and could end with a big name in the receiving corps. You won't want to leave the video before you know everything behind this bold new project for the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh knows that protecting Justin Herbert is a top priority, and the Los Angeles Chargers backroom is buzzing with a strategic plan that could define the future of the franchise for years to come. At the center of this move is Rashawn Slater, the 25-year-old left tackle who has established himself as one of the most valuable pieces of the roster since arriving in the NFL. Slater's about to enter the final year of his contract, and all indications are that the Chargers front office is determined to keep him wearing number 70 for a long time at SoFi Stadium. The concern surrounding Slater's renewal is not without reason. In a recent analysis by ESPN's Aaron Schatz, it was pointed out that the smartest move for the Chargers this offseason would be to extend the player's contract before the 2025 season even begins. The franchise has already activated the fifth-year option of his rookie contract, a move that guarantees another season under control, but it only pushes the problem further. The truth is that the market for elite tackles is inflated, and waiting too long could end up costing them much more. Today, 6 offensive tackles in the NFL earn $25 million or more per season, including Tristan Wirfs and Penei Sewell. Slater, with 2 Pro Bowl selections and a second-team All-Pro nomination, has more than enough credentials to join this elite salary bracket, and the timing seems ideal. The Chargers currently have about $27 million in cap space, according to Over the Cap, and Slater's current cap hit is about $19 million. With that margin, negotiating an advantageous extension now could avoid a bidding war next offseason. In addition to the technical quality, there's a question of long-term vision involved. Harbaugh is clearly building his offense from the trenches, betting on a young, physical, and smart offensive line. On the other side of Slater is Joe Alt, a recent draft pick and considered by many to be the best tackle in the class. Together, they form one of the most promising duos in the league, a true protective shield for Herbert, who will finally have time in the pocket to explore his entire offensive arsenal. Keeping Slater is more than a technical or financial decision. It's a statement of intent. It's the message that the Chargers will prioritize stability, continuity, and protection of their biggest star. Harbaugh knows that great offenses start with the offensive line, and securing Slater for several years is the foundation of that construction, a surefire step that cannot be postponed. And if the offensive line represents the foundation of this new era in Los Angeles, the second pillar is the running game, and the changes to transform that area have already begun. The next chapter of this offensive revolution shows how Harbaugh is shaping a brutal, physical, and unstoppable offense. After a 2024 season marked by ups and downs, Jim Harbaugh decided it was time to make his offensive identity even more evident in 2025. With a philosophy that values controlling the clock, physical imposition, and dominance in the ground game, the new Chargers coach has been reshaping the offense to transform it into a true running machine with the ball. And to do so, major changes were not only expected, but necessary. And in fact, they arrived in full force. The main addition was the arrival of Mekhi Becton, a force of nature with an imposing physique and great run-blocking ability. He takes over the right tackle position with the mission of fixing what didn't work with Trey Pipkins, who had visible difficulties in 2024. The numbers proved the leap in quality. Becton recorded a grade of 74.7 in run blocks, well above Pipkins' 63.7. With that, Pipkins is already being speculated as a trade piece, reinforcing the team's change in direction. Other changes were also decisive in shaping this new offensive line. Guard Zion Johnson was repositioned as center, while Bradley Bozeman arrives to play guard. The idea is clear: adapt each player's talents to the zone blocking system designed by Greg Roman, Harbaugh's trusted offensive coordinator. The expectation is that this new formation will be more cohesive, physical, and intelligent, exactly as the coach's style demands. And of course, a powerful offensive line needs ball carriers to match. The answer came in 2 doses. Najee Harris, a veteran 4-time 1,000-yard rusher, and the promising Omarion Hampton, a rookie selected in the first round and seen as the future of the position. This duo represents the return of the value of running backs in the modern offense, something that Harbaugh has always defended. In a scenario where many teams rely on committees and low contracts for running backs, the Chargers are going against the grain, investing heavily in the position and betting on a dominant running game as the basis for success. If everything falls into place as planned, Harbaugh will have at his disposal a physical, resilient attack capable of dictating the pace of any game. But for this system to reach its full potential, it will take more than brute force. Unpredictability and a balance between running and passing will be crucial, and that is exactly why the next step in this offensive rebuild was to look for new aerial weapons, easing the burden on Herbert and the running backs. This is the next chapter in the revolution that is taking over the Chargers. Even with all the structural changes made by Jim Harbaugh in the offensive sector, especially in the offensive line and backfield, a question still hangs in the air like a dark cloud over Chargers fans. Is the current wide receiver core really up to the ambitious new phase that the team is building? In the 2025 offseason, the Chargers caused a surprise with an unusual approach for a team that clearly needed reinforcements in the air. Many fans expected an aggressive move in free agency, especially with big names available on the market. However, the franchise chose not to invest heavily and did not even show public interest in negotiations with established receivers such as DK Metcalf, George Pickens, or even Keenan Allen, one of the fans' idols. And perhaps the most controversial point of this entire offseason was precisely the total indifference towards Keenan Allen, a veteran wide receiver who spent more than a decade building his history with the Chargers, and who, despite coming off a very productive season with the Chicago Bears, has not even received a formal offer to return to the franchise. The silence surrounding Allen is, for many, a clear indication that Harbaugh is focused on completely breaking with the past, prioritizing a new culture based on youth and rebuilding from scratch. In this spirit, the team bet its chips on the draft. It selected Trey Harris in the second round and Keandre Lambert-Smith in the fifth, in addition to bringing in the versatile tight end Oronde Gadsden II, also in the fifth. These rookies join Ladd McConkey, one of the most promising bets in the last draft, and Quentin Johnston, still trying to establish himself as a reliable piece in the offense. The management's expectation seems clear: to trust in the explosiveness, cost-benefit, and technical development of these young talents. This is exactly where a possibility that is starting to gain traction behind the scenes in the NFL comes in. The arrival of Amari Cooper at SoFi Stadium. Still available on the market, the veteran wide receiver has been pointed out by Logan Ulrich from NFL Trade Rumors as a logical and potentially valuable option for the Chargers. And the reasons are convincing. In addition to the obvious need for experience in the receiving group, Cooper has a direct connection with the current Chargers wide receivers coach, Sanjay Lal, with whom he worked in his best years with the Dallas Cowboys between 2018 and 2019. This professional connection could be the necessary link for a rapprochement. Cooper, even if not coming off a brilliant season, is still a productive, reliable, and technical receiver. Exactly the type of piece that can lead and accelerate the maturation of the rest of the group. With the cap space that the Chargers have available, bringing Amari Cooper would not only be feasible, it would be smart. The only catch, and one that cannot be ignored, is the cold behavior of the board with Keenan Allen. If the franchise completely ignored the return of one of the most beloved players in its recent history, why would it be interested in another veteran? This raises the possibility that Harbaugh and the front office are determined to build a new offensive identity without any emotional ties to the franchise's recent past. On the other hand, the pressure for results could tip the scales in favor of experience. If the young players don't show immediate production in training and in the first weeks of the preseason, it wouldn't be surprising to see the Chargers go for a specific and accurate signing like Cooper. And now, fans, which path do you think the Chargers should follow? Blindly trust in the raw and promising talent of the rookies, or make a bold move and bring in an impactful name to provide balance and security to the aerial attack? The truth is that the offensive board is set, and the next decisions will be decisive for the success or failure of the Jim Harbaugh era in Los Angeles. Turn on notifications and subscribe to our channel, because the next play could be the most important of the season.